Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And I think it's always good. It's always educational, I think is the word I'm looking for. Yeah, to get an outsider's perspective, an outsider's view of you, of your life, of your world, which I think is what that is what this movie is. Doctor Who Am I? This documentary. It's created by Matthew Jacobs, who wrote the Paul McGann '96 movie script, and he doesn't know much about Doctor Who. Well, he does. He's got a bit of a weird relationship with Doctor Who, which we're going to find out in this movie. But it predominantly is. I say this at the end of the review. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It is a normie interacting with Doctor Who fandom in all its geeky wonderfulness, and it really is geeky wonderfulness. So it makes for an interesting story. It really does make an interesting story, and it's kind of a personal one as well, because his father was in the Gunfighters from the, was that 65, 66? I think 65, and he was there on set for it, right? But so it went into a lot of emotions about his early life, like, and which is stuff he hasn't really thought about for a while, which I found quite interesting. But generally speaking, I found this documentary just delightful, really delightful. It's an interesting look at strange people, which is essentially what it is. Interesting look at strange people. I always like to have an interesting look at strange people. That's kind of something that I enjoy in life. So for me, this is a recommend. Very good. Was it Matthew Jacobs? I wonder if he's going to do any more. But honestly, I think he saw an opening that he could make a movie and get it out to the public, and that's what he did. Good on him. I hope he's doing more things. Before we get into the review, like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things are fantastic. Thank you for doing those. Look in the video notes. You have find my Twitter, my Instagram, my Substack, my email newsletter, which are all fabulous. Oh, so fabulous. Yes, they are. I can't rave about them enough. And your life will be made so much better by subscribing to all of the above. Yeah, all the below, I should say. Yeah, if you could do that, that'd be fan-freaking-tastic. Like, share, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. Have you seen this movie? Do you want to see this movie? Are you offended by this movie? Let me know your thoughts. This review came from a live stream I did last night on February 12th, February 13th. So when's it going out? Soonish. I don't. You'll know. You're watching this video right now. So that's when it's going out. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Now, let me hand over to me from last night. Doctor Who Am I? A family that's bigger on the inside. So essentially, this is by Matthew Jacobs, and it's his intersection with Doctor Who fandom, and it's very disconcerting for him in many ways, right? Firstly, he thought everybody hated him and everybody hated the movie. It's just not true at all. I like it a lot, right? I like it a lot. I've always enjoyed it. I'll be honest with you. Let me zoom in a little bit. But he always shied away going from to conventions. Now, also, he's a filmmaker, and he wants to be able to make movies. And he saw that this is a commercial movie, and it is certainly a commercial movie because it's fascinating, right? It's absolutely fascinating. It's not. How can I put it? It's. I think it puts fandom in a relatively realistic, honest, and not incredibly complimentary light, while still being very loving of fandom, right? It's essentially, as I said, a normie, a guy who on the surface seems to be a normie type of person, even though he's a screenwriter, and he's intersecting with fandom, and he's like, what the fuck is this? What? And it's like, his brain can't cope with it. And he's going to a few different conventions, and he's going to Gallifrey 1, which I know is very woke, right? Gallifrey 1, they got like a drag cabaret this year, right? Gallifrey 1 is super toxic fandom, right? That is toxic fandom's convention. Maybe they all are, right? So you got to filter it through that. But there is this like So that's his first view of fandom, and it's weird. Like everything is weird, right? He's like, I don't. He just doesn't understand what's going on. Like he meets with these couple of fans who must be wealthy and paying him to meet him, right? And they're super, and they just hate him. They're like, how did you have the Doctor kiss? And like, but then as it goes, like he goes to other conventions. He's in Long Island, and it goes, I think San Francisco. I can't remember where else he goes. You get more into that world of convention going fandom, and it's an interesting and strange and weird world, right? So it really is. I don't know. Would I want to go to cons? I probably would. I probably would be going to cons if I lived in the States or I lived in England. If there was other people like go, sure. But yeah, but again, this is what it was. He was very, very taken aback by the ferocity, I think is the pronunciation I'm looking for. See, I need that AI voice generator. The ferocity of people's love for Doctor Who, like, and it really is a ferocity of love for Doctor Who. And then, it doesn't go unnoticed that the people who love Doctor Who are a bit strange or a little bit socially awkward, right? They're a little bit, here, let me see if I can find a clip to play for. There's one bit in particular I'm really thinking of. Where is it? There we go, doing. Is this the right one? No, I think this is no, that's not it. Is this it? Doink. Okay, but I just gotta. No. Yeah, well, the file's too big. It's just like, again, it's not. We are fans are straight fans who go to cons and they do cosplay and the whole thing. It's a strange bunch, right? It's like, I feel like, when Howard Stern, he would have strange people on, and he'd be like, well, this is cool. But it's not me. It's just like, okay, it's like, I'm fascinated. I am fascinated. And it is fascinating. And he's fascinated too. But then there's another dimension that comes in, basically when Paul McGann appears. But yeah, this is a great movie for Doctor Who fans, because you get, it's a con movie. It's about, it's a convention movie with, all convention stuff going on, and you get to see what conventions are like, but not from it's not the sort of normal one you see, where you see like, on the, Panopticon, like it's about the panels. It's about what they're really freaking like, right? And it's weird as hell. So, but when Paul McGann shows up, he's just so cool. Paul McGann is just like so mellow, and like, listen, I understand why actors love cons, right? Actors do love cons because actors are essentially narcissists, right? That's who they are. Actors are essentially like, they love to be loved, and boy, do they get loved at these conventions, right? There's this bit in it towards the end where this guy is talking to Matthew Jacobs, and he's talking about how he fell in love with Doctor Who at the '96 movie. He says. And in the middle of saying, he said, I wrote that. And the fan didn't know. He's like, oh my God, his eyes lit up. So can I get your autograph? So you get like these moments like this. And Paul McGann is genuinely touched by how Doctor Who has lifted people up, right? And it's lifted up a lot of people, and they have a whole section on that about how, you're in tough time in your life. Doctor Who is it's a wonderful escape. It really is. It's magical to a certain extent. And that's what comes across. And it's like, it's not a unhealthy escape in that. It's a very like nice form of escape that sometimes everybody needs. Anyway, so this kind of strips away layers of Matthew Jacobs. His father was in the Gunfighters, right? And he was actually on set for it. And it just like really made him go into some really deep memories about his dad. And then it came out like his mother committed suicide in '63. So like the whole early '60s is all melded together, and it wasn't so great. But he's got that going on. But he's like, again, he keeps talking about Doctor Who like such an insane normie. Like, it's a story. And not really understanding it at all, which is so obvious. But there's an interview with Paul McGann in it, which I thought was excellent. It makes Paul McGann seem such an incredibly nice person. So like he's saying, look, I come here mainly for the relationships, because I see these people come all the time, and it means a lot to them, and I like them, and they like me, and like, why not? It's like, that's why I keep coming, for the relationships. Which I think is really saying. I think Daphne Ashbrook was similar as well. There's also a really weird meeting with Philip Siegel, who's huge. I had no idea he's so big in real life, right? Philip Siegel is now this big reality producer of, sounds like awful crap, but whatever. He's very successful. God bless him. And they have like this somewhat strange interview, right? Because, but again, this is kind of like Matthew Jacobs' second bite at the cherry of filmmaking. And you know what? God bless him. I think he's found a niche. He's telling an interesting story, and he's telling it pretty well. And it's very much from a personal point of view of how he's just bewildered. That's really the overwhelming thing. It's like an Englishman in New York. It's like a stranger in a strange land. That's what it is. It's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That's how I would describe this movie. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So for me, it's a recommend. I thought it was really, really, really fun, right? I really did. I think it's on BritBox right now. If not, I think you can get the DVD relatively cheaply. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.